us a sign that you want to communicate with us.
Nothing.
What are you guys?
Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I didn't know about this particular case that the movie's based on, but I know for Lorraine and Ed. It's kind of hard not to know who they are when you're sort of fascinated by that world.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of known of them for a while now. From even like back in my high school days, and so I always thought and felt that their life story would make for a really cool film. And fortunately, the studio and the producers felt the same way. And eventually I found out that it was at New Line. And, I was like, hey guys, this is interesting. Let me have a look at the script.
Well, let me say this. When I met those twin men,
Chad and Carey Hayes, the writers.
when they talked to me, on the phone, tell us some of your stories. They're not stories. I says, they're, don't look at it as a story. Look at it as family who has an experience that is very frightening. And then that's how we went along. Sometimes there were waves, and then we smoothed that all out. And it really helped me to understand it must be hard for some people to accept what's going on like that. I mean, the normal person on the street, can you go up to them and say, did you ever experience a haunting? Did you ever have an experience in your home where something happened, something moved, and you didn't move it? No, you might go fool yourself. Because how many people would give a true answer?
There's something horrible happening in my house.
Lorraine was definitely very much involved in it from early in production, from a story scripting standpoint. The Hayes brothers would call her up and basically pick her brains and try to dig as much as they could about her. Which is great because their research really helped the movie. Really allow us to get an insight into who they are and who the parents were as well. And so I think that really helped in a lot of way in making the film the way it is. After Insidious, I didn't really want to make another ghost story, another haunted house-esque sort of subgenre in that respect. But what kind of drew me to this project wasn't the haunted house nature of it, or wasn't even the ghost story nature of it. It was telling the story about the Warrens, and it just so happens that the stuff that they investigated were of this nature, and so when I went into it, I worked with the writers, and we tried to put a lot more of the emphasis back onto them. Because the idea of a family being haunted, we've seen that many times before, but seeing a movie from the point of view of the paranormal investigators, we haven't really seen that yet. And so for me, that allowed me to attack this story from a fresh perspective.
My mom's bed. Do you want to see him?
Yeah?
When the music stops, you see him in the mirror standing behind you.